4, 3, 2, 1.
T1 versus PSG.LGD. Game 3.
Thank you, BSJ. We have game number 3, LGD versus T1. You just heard BSJ break it down, Cinderin. I mean, pretty much everything he said was correct. T1, a lot of vision, a lot of ways to contest Roche, but LGD are the ones that can actually kill Roche really quickly. So I think that's going to be a very important factor in this game. But what are your thoughts on these lineups? We get to see, you called the Venomancer. I'm going to give you credit. You said it, and it came true.
Yeah, it is a really good Venomancer game for a time, at least. And I think what T1 needed here was a way to slow down the Ursa IO lane from just getting too far ahead. We've seen empowered Ursa in a secret series earlier and some during the groups. My concern outside of that, I think T1's laning stage should be really good. I think their lanes are very nice. Like the Veno ET lane is very strong bottom against Ursa +1.
Yep.
They're even starting as 3 right now, leaving Savage alone up top, 23 Savage on the Spectre. This is not going to be how they keep their lanes, of course. I want to know what T1 do when BKBs come out, because I don't think they're going to dominate the lanes and the game hard enough that PSG.LGD don't get there, and that's my problem with the Dire lineup right now. They have nothing against BKB. They're actually going to have to kite for the full duration. Nobody kills during it. All you have is a little bit of right-click from Storm and Spectre, unless your Elder Titan somehow finds the most amazing Astral Spirit in the fight. So I think, as far as, you know, the metagame between these two teams with how they play overall in terms of tempo, how late they want the games to go, I do like LGD's prospects after 20 minutes. So I think the challenge for T1 here is to get far enough ahead that they can handle that stage of the game.
So all about the BKB timings for PSG.LGD. And yeah, you're right. We've seen that Empower Ursa kind of just snowball. That's the one thing that Ursa kind of struggles with is farm, and when you can give him Empower. I mean, there's even a time where Ursa, no first blood this time. As Zephyr is going to get skewered back into the tier. Oh no! So first blood technically goes the way of T1. A little bit of miscommunication, but
a little gift.
You don't see that every day.
That's funny. I'll say it. That's funny. So Zephyr getting first blood, he gets full Tranquil boots off of this on his Elder Titan. It's going to make his way down toward the bottom lane. Y doesn't get anything except a long, slow walk up to top. Faith Beyond, I think, got about half the gold of that kill, roughly. Is eyeing up a Helm of the Dominator. Cuckoo bottom.
Yeah, in a bit of trouble here. Gonna get right click a couple more times. The Echo Stomp comes through, but Ame looks to be just fine. Although Zephyr,
on here.
That's a lot of damage. He's gonna try to Earth Shock to safety, and you can see just ticking away slightly thanks to Cuckoo. Very, very annoying here to deal with, as has been his trajectory in Dota history action. Of course, some changes made to him recently. Poison Nova doing percentage-based damage, so technically scales better than he used to. I mean, how much of a difference has that made from the games that you've seen from Veno in this patch?
It's one of those things that's hard to see, right? Because the damage is so slow. It's like, it's not really noticeable until you look at the post-game and compare it to like similar games historically. I don't remember the exact numbers, but for the most part, especially when you reach the mid-late portions of the game, even against agility heroes, the new Poison Nova is better than the old one, but it's primarily tanky heroes that suffer a lot more. And there aren't that many specifically high health heroes in LGD. I think the Venomancer is more about the vision and the lane power that it would bring, the reason they picked at this game. Unfortunately for Cuckoo, he's not really pressuring the IO Ursa that much just yet, but level 3 is a big turning point for Veno usually. Get a lot more damage on that Poison Sting. a skill that has a very special scaling, actually. I find it very unique the way it scales in 3 aspects like this: duration, DPS, and slow with every skill point. So effectively, you know, most skills in Dota scale in a linear fashion.
Yep.
This is very different. It gets so much better on level 3 and 5 for the Venomancer, obviously level 2 and 3 on the skill compared to level 1. So for comparison, level 1 is 36 damage, level 2 is over 100, and level 3 is 250.
Why don't we go through every skill in the game? You can read the tooltips.
Sure.
Which are available.
All right. Going to the menu. First
the beauty
hero,
of
Adam. Missed coin.
You guys can't see, but he actually opened up the Heroes tab. You can see everybody's really happy, either with the pause being unpaused now or Cinderin stopped talking. Not sure. We'll have to find out another time on this segment of Cinderin +1. Or -1, depending on your perspective again. Wyatt, Thunder Strike from Whitemon. Looks like Carl's going to secure the Water Rune for himself. Already queuing up the Orchid, which obviously no big surprise, pretty much the standard. As you can see, Zephyr preventing Nothing to Say from getting a second Water Rune, so Carl gets a double whammy this time around.
Yeah.
And look at the CS, 26 and 7 to the 22 and 4. Talked, I mean, the draft panel kind of discussed that matchup overall. Do you think that? I mean, Ember seems to be doing pretty decent, all things considered.
It's I would say it's a slightly Storm-favored lane overall. Not by a lot. What Ember's going to do is exactly what Nothing to Say is doing here. Oh, why?
Actually
gets
spike.
the spike.
He actually runs right back into it. Hex to follow. TP is going to be canceled because that is a super easy kill for
Big
LGD.
Kill. Yeah, so what Ember does in this lane is we're going to see a glimpse. I think Faith Beyond will be okay here.
I've never heard that before. Okay, you might be right. They're out of mana, and surely he
You're
can't
right.
die.
It was very close. He only had 310 health left, Suns fan. That was very close.
Is very tanky.
The crowd goes wild.
I mean, he's
sick escape.
He's part rhino. I'm pretty sure that's the lore. So very thick skin, very thick boy.
So what I was gonna say was Ember against Storm in mid. What Ember will generally do is he will max out Sleight of Fist. And try to harass the Storm back that way. The problem with going max Flame Guard is that you can still get it broken too easily by Storm's Overload and Static Remnant charges, and at that point, you have stifled your ability to go and gank other lanes by maxing Flame Guard over Sleight, which is clearly the stronger offensive build in most situations. So I do like to see this build coming out from Nothing to Say, and yeah, that kill from Lion helps a lot. As far as T1 goes, they're still doing great on CS, both top and mid, but bottom,
Echo Stomp's
Cuckoo.
not going to connect. Ame gets a couple right clicks off on Cuckoo, which is always scary when you're a big bad bear. It's top lane.
There.
Oh, why? Looks like he's going to try to deny himself, but 23 Savage with, the Arcana kill streak. Good to see.
Very good.
You're making progress on that. Probably has like 1,000 more games to go before unlocking it.
Very good news for T1 here that 23 Savage is top net worth on Spectre. This hero is crazy when it is ahead. I want to say, just as a gut feeling, maybe one of the highest win rate carries of all time when it's top net worth at like minute 20. It's just crazy how well Spectre scales in a lot of games.
Well, to be fair, it did used to farm really poorly.
Yeah.
So if it was top net worth at that point, then that's a little different story than nowadays.
It's still a lot worse than most carries at farming, though, right? Like it's still slower. The Falcon Blade build-up and the better dagger
jump in from Storm, but it looks like Cuckoo wants to play as well. Trying to turn this around on the bear. Beautiful impale from Y, but results in the same ending, which is Ame Dunzo.
That's a lot of damage!
Gets destroyed as well. Double kill for Nothing to Say. It's going to be a back and forth action as 23 Savage pops the wand as Nothing to Say still has the Flame Guard applied, and another beautiful Sleight of Fist as a triple kill for Nothing to Say. Looked really bad for LGD.
Yeah, that was a great
Nothing to Say,
start
great
on that
rotation.
play. T1 with a very, very good one there, but damn, that Spirit Bomb from Nothing to Say, triple Remnant I think that was, into 4 heroes, double damage rune and Sleight. Ooh. It's just not fair, you know? Why do you have to have a double damage too?
He's just better.
Whitemon.
And Shockwave is up. Doesn't have a ton of mana afterwards, though. So we'll just throw it out for good measure, as Ame has now made his way to the top lane.
This is going to give Nothing to Say a lot of value. Obviously, getting those 3 kills, he's now 4-0. He's going to grab himself Phase Boots as well as Orb of Venom. Going to finish Orb of Corrosion soon, as they're trying to get him this bottom rune, which could get a little dicey.
Yeah.
It's top.
Bronze, and it is top indeed. It's an illusion, so mostly just for filling up the bottle purposes. Not a ton of kill potential.
Carl should still be careful. Like, this hurts. If he gets caught in a stun chain and there's a little bit of damage coming out from Nothing to Say in addition to just a slight, he can still die from 2/3 to just the Lion Ember here. He's going to respect it and go jungle.
As you see, 23 Savage in the jungle, farming to his heart's content. So Aghanim Scepter will be the choice after the Falcon Blade. That seems to be the standard. We talked about this before, but before this tournament, we saw some Echo Saber. Like there's some differences between builds. We see some Orchid as well, but for the most part, we're seeing this same one that this game will have again. But the Aghanim Scepter just seems to be super strong with that 30-second cooldown, single target haunt Cinderin, aka Shadow Step, whatever you want to call it.
Do want to point out an interesting detail here from LGD as we are seeing the mid push, but Jinkyu has a really early level 6. He was level 6 minute 8 on the IO, and he was playing bottom lane alone against the creep wave, while Ame was alone top against the creep wave. So these two heroes were not playing together, and they were just still managing to maximize, finding farm in both lanes at the same time. And now this mid tower, uncontested. Really surprised that T1 didn't try to do something here with their Elder Titan and maybe Veno defending, but they just willingly give up the biggest tower in the early game.
Well, let's talk about Veno. I mean, Cuckoo, we're going to see the Earth Spike come out first. Relocate on the way with Nothing to Say. RP from Faith Beyond. Down goes Spectre. Big kill for LGD's. Carl looks to be at least trying to clean up the residual damage here. So it ends up being a trade of supports after the fact, but the big kill obviously on the Spectre for 23 Savage.
And they relocate back to mid, and they're going to find more. Maybe Carl.
Yeah, he gets caught with the Searing Chains. He's completely surrounded. Not a ton of mana to work with. Cannot get to the low ground. Shockwave and completely surrounded. But Echo Stomp is there. Nice dodge from Nothing to Say. Another kill goes his way, Cinderin. This is quite possibly the best start that I've seen him have this tournament. This is God tier status right now.
Yeah, he's had enough of playing DP. Now it's time to go.
It's like, all right, we gave you one. I mean, do you know if the DP, the one that they lost against Secret, was that the only other time they picked DP?
I don't know if it was Nothing to Say playing it or Faith Beyond. I actually don't remember, but I know they played it in that game. I don't know if it was the only other DP game they've had.
Gotcha.
Yeah. He's popping off in this game, that's for sure. Cuckoo is next.
Find Cuckoo, and the finger of death from Y. LGD clicking on all cylinders in this game.
This is looking scary if you're a T1 fan, just because of how insanely fast a game like this can go with an Emperor having this kind of a start. You know, it's not just Emperor, he's playing with IO.
Yeah.
So you get that extra mana funnel all the time. It might not seem like much to get the attack speed from Overcharge, but all of it just adds up, right? It just compounds over time.
We have a Haunt with a Static Storm. This is going to be a big kill for T1. And they find Ame.
Nothing to Say has arrived. He's too late.
Ame has had a pretty good game up until this point. Talk about it in just a moment to see if more action comes here as Zephyr, Nothing to Say, has the Empower. There's the Searing Chains. Trying to dodge the Echo Stomp, but will not be able to. Zephyr with the TP out. So, all right, forget about this last kill for a second here, Cinderin. Cuckoo, Venomaster, you talked about one of the big reasons. I know it's not the only reason, but one of the big reasons you pick it in this game is because Ursa has a hard time against it. Yeah. They just switched lanes, and Ame has had a really good game in terms of farming, all things considered. Was this worth the Veno pick, or is there still more to come that we should look forward to?
I think this is already concerning. They would have probably liked it to go better than this, but the Veno against Ursa is just a lot different when there's an IO, I think. It's just you have so much more regen coming through.
Yeah.
So that extra bit of move speed and overall mobility in lane really helps. Oh, Nothing to Say. He might just kill Whitemon here, honestly.
The glimpse, but the Remnant is out, stuck inside the kinetic field, but does not matter. Nothing to Say, completely dominating. 7-0, and this is going to open up space for Ame to get inside the Roche Pit. Has the Morbid Mask, going for the Diffusal Blade. And this should be a freebie. 12.5-minute Roche. Depending on how long this game goes, Cinderin, we might see 10 Roches. Can we get to double digits? Ever.
That was a very random comment. I don't know what to say to that. Why are you suddenly thinking of 10 Roches?
I don't know. I'm just really excited. I get really excited by Roche. I feel like he's underappreciated by the masses. His lore is very interesting.
All right, you get 10 seconds to sign a new drop from Roche after Refresher Shard and Ags.
Bloodthorn.
That's not a new design. You're just putting an item on it.
That's what's already being put. All right, refresher droppings.
Okay, what
It's
does
something
that do?
it's like a worse version of a shard.
Why would the 5th one give that?
But then if you get all 3, Ag Shard and Ag Shard dropping, it becomes Exodia.
Okay.
Which is like a Mega Ags.
Okay.
A Gaben level spell, if you will.
You cannot complain about any of my suggestions ever again.
Great. Spirit Vessel on Cuckoo.
I can't do worse than. I actually can't come up with anything worse. So.
That's what we thought about the Aghanim Scepter on Lycan. But Slacks is a genius. So Cuckoo has a Spirit Vessel Syndrome, but like you said, I mean, he doesn't have any charges. That's definitely an issue. Hasn't really been participating in a ton of fights right now.
This bottom tower looks to fall.
Oh, Carl might be in some trouble. Do they have the damage? Absolutely. With the Finger of Death and the nice setup continuing to happen with nothing to say's changed.
Again, Carl's voice line usage is just not, like, you just got burst. Why do you love that? I think...
I'm pretty sure he just randoms whatever voice line.
Yeah, he uses whatever. Of course. It's just funny that there seems to be an emerging pattern of Carl's voice lines just not necessarily fitting the situation. I guess that's a good way of keeping morale high, you know, laughing at your own misery a little bit.
Yeah.
That one fits a lot better.
Yeah, that's
I like
a little
that.
better. Yeah. He had to search for. He probably just binded that now, just to make sure he could use it.
Did you say binded?
Bind it.
Oh. I was just like, do I have to lecture you about verb inflection once again now?
All right. Diffusal picked up by Ame. I'm just going to ignore. That's an old school one, actually. I'm going to ignore your insult again.
Yep.
Nothing to
As
say.
You do. You never learn from it.
Just creating so much pressure for T1.
It's going to be a smoke move here, I think.
This would be if they could find nothing to say right now, this would be pretty big because he's getting close to finishing BKB.
See why, but
yeah, the Plague Ward's giving that vision. Spectral Dagger comes out.
Nice little detail with the perch creep, by the way. Will be very helpful against Venno.
Yep, that's true.
If the little Satyr Banisher is going to follow them around here, being controlled by Faith Beyond, or well, whoever he has shared control with, of course.
2.5 minutes with the Aegis. I mean, what is LGD, what's their timeline here? This is a lineup that wants to finish earlier, I would assume. They don't want Spectre to get ultra late game?
It depends. Like, if you have this strong map control and you keep pushing all the lanes and you find kills frequently, I don't think your lineup is severely worse late game. You have 2 melee cores that use Empower, BKB piercing stun from the Magnus.
Yeah.
Lion is always going to be a late game wildcard hero because of how strong disables just are. And IO, one of the best late game supports too. So I'm not really too I don't think LGD should be too concerned with it. On paper, Storm Spectre look amazing. Venno often falls off kind of at some stages, and unfortunately for Cuckoo, he hasn't really ever had a massive impact in the game yet.
Well, yeah, it just hasn't been any fights yet, which, to be fair, there hasn't really been an actual team fight. It's been kind of this scattered, I mean, nothing to say, just all over the map, essentially, with the IO support.
Yeah, and he has the BKB Orb of Corrosion, right? So you can really tell that LGD have an understanding here of what is the one problem we have is if we get caught by spells. Yep. So a lot of the times Embers in this position will not go for the straight BKB, but get like a Maelstrom or another build-up item. But it feels like he has enough damage with just the Empower and the Orb of Corrosion, and with this BKB, he's honestly invincible. If he gets it off, he's never dying while that's running to this lineup. So, kind of enter God mode there.
And with this Aegis, I mean, I'm guessing there's no pressure from LGD to try to use this Aegis in any specific way. Just continue with map control, try to get some objectives, but you don't have to go ham, so to speak. Of course, Spectre is getting close to Ags here. You think they're going to try to do something with this 40-second timer?
Maybe if they find a fight bottom and the relocate here, they could consider diving tier 1, but I don't think tier 1 is even going to give them a fight for that tier 1 tower. I think it's just going to concede it here. They know that they're in a very disadvantageous position right now, and once Aegis is out, you have a little bit more of a clear plan, I think, for how to fight. Whitemon, going to get caught stop.
Yep, White gets off the Earth Spike, and Ame doing the... although Jin Q takes it. All right.
They still have relocate on him. Okay.
Pops a BKB. TP's coming as well. Cuckoo gets off a Gale. Not really going to hit anything. But I mean, that's actually pretty big. They force out that big BKB charge for nothing to say.
That was a great disengage from T1. They get the BKB, they back off. They also got the relocate, and the Aegis also expired there. So, nicely done. kind of weaving around the fight. But at the same time, also a little bit concerning that you have this lineup and you feel like you can't fight, right?
Yeah.
You really want to fight with these heroes. Oh, 21 Savage.
Boy.
He's being eyed up by Y.
Yep, there's the Earth Spike to start things out. Ame on the way. And just
No
going to burst him
mana.
down. Finger of Death gets the finishing blow.
Didn't even get a chance to cast the dagger. He just died in the stun hex combo. Ursa has so much damage.
LGD on the same page again. And I think more than any other team in this tournament, it just feels like they make so little mistakes that...
And so few.
So few mistakes. The fact that a non-first English language person is correcting me really makes this sad.
First English language person, yes.
Oh, God.
It is I.
End me, simply.
Yes,
I don't remember what I was saying anymore. What the hell is it? Oh, they don't make many mistakes.
True.
So the opposing teams haven't really found much of an avenue to try to take advantage of something like that. It just feels like they're, I don't know. I don't want to say invincible because obviously they lost game 2, but even with that massive, massive disadvantage they had in terms of net worth, they still made it a game.
Yeah.
Which is really surprising.
Yeah, there's going to be a nice
Carl
pick
jumps in,
finally.
all right.
Faith Beyond.
There's the Aghanim Scepter being used for 23 Savage. So still has Haunt online.
And they instantly smoke again. I actually think Faith Beyond saw that. I don't think the vision had faded just yet when they blew that smoke. So this means PSG.LGD have the information, and they can make a very clear call about where the smoke is meant to hit, right? There's not like... There's one option. So they're already positioning themselves very well. You can see they're just standing still on both Lion and Ember, covering the angles, waiting for T1 to try their luck. But T1 seems like don't really fancy that smoke too much after all. Kind of just not going to do anything with it, except did they even place any vision with it? I don't think so. So kind of ultimately just a full-on wasted smoke of deceit there, unfortunately. Aside from the fact that, well, LGD were standing still for a little bit as well. So yeah, you traded off looking at each other.
The good thing about that kill, though, is T1, they finally have some Spirit Vessel charges, Synderen. So something to use against
That's true.
the Jin-Q Io, who he does have a mech. We'll see if he gets something to try to dispel. I mean, he could go Greaves, I guess, to try to dispel the Spirit Vessel charge. Not sure if that's even in the
More than likely going
right
Lotus,
now.
I think, if he wants that. It's probably...
What happened to
better value.
Greaves? We're not seeing that nearly as much these days.
Yeah.
Can't remember what the nerf was now. Putting you on the spot, Synderen.
What are Greaves?
That's true. All right, Faith Beyond, company, smoked up. You can see Ame has just picked up his BKB, as speaking of that, Nothing to Say pops his second charge. So another good bait from T1. All right.
Get it.
Yep, no skewer this time. And we are at the 21-minute mark, so Shard can be picked up for anybody in the game. And we obviously saw the impact of that, even though they ended up losing from Faith Beyond with that Magnus.
And even though this move from PSG.LGD doesn't really get them any kills, they get control, right? They bully the enemy team out of this outpost area. They start setting up for Roche control, which is going to spawn right now. Y will see that. And I think, okay, this is a really crucial moment for T1. This has to work. If they lose the second Roche with no contention, they're not in a good position at all.
Yep. And that shard, almost certainly, if they get it, will go to Ame. One of the best shards in the game for sure.
Very, very good.
This is the beauty of having a Venomancer. You get that vision with the Plague Wards in the pit. And obviously, Elder Titan we talked about last game. So this won't be a freebie for LGD. The Roche is getting relatively low. Just waiting for the right time to pounce. Haunt still, literally every spell is online. So it's all about the timing and execution here. The Haunt. Nope, that was the Shadow Step.
Nice job from Zephyr there. He actually, and from Cuckoo, they distracted Ame so long that the Fury
and there's the RP! Can they burst him in time? Why? Trying to layer absolutely again. Buyback is available for Carl, though.
Yeah, it doesn't matter that the Fury Swipe stacks fall off if you kill the enemy mid.
Yeah.
You can just go again.
Yep. Continuing to try to dodge these really annoying Echo Stomps. Will they force the buyback, or will this just be given up? Looks like they're just giving this up. So second Roche the way of LGD, and Ame with the shard, which he's not actually putting in his inventory yet. There we go.
Maybe they want to give it to Ember?
No, This one's way too good. This is this is
very,
top 5
very
shard
good.
in the game.
It is.
Every time he overpower or earth shocks, he will get an enrage for a second and a half.
Yeah, I remember
Super
when the
strong.
shard came out, you rated this the absolute best, I think.
Well, it was 2. It was more. It was 2 seconds or more. I can't remember.
Was it 2 seconds?
It was better before. Yeah.
That's crazy. I think the cooldown of Earthshock might have also been lower than.
Yeah, they nerfed that aspect as well.
Okay.
So there have been some slight nerfs, of course, but still extremely strong. I mean, just being able to preserve your ult, because so many times we see Enrage popped, and then everybody backs away and tries to kite Ursa, whereas you have more options now.
It's kind of. I'm looking at the scoreline right now, right?
Wait for it, Cinderman. Static Storm after the Yules. All right. Looks like they're going to try. Well, they actually use the Shadow Step, but Whitemon gets out in time, just barely. So they force out a ton of TPs for LGD. Nicely done from T1, baiting that.
Yep.
Of course, it did cost Static Storm.
A big rotation.
Sure, all is well.
Isn't it weird for you to see Ursa so far ahead on the net worth with 0 kills? I feel like that's such an uncharacteristic Ursa game nowadays.
Power time, I guess.
And power and just the overall, you know, they got Roches, they got towers. I was like, I wonder what his KDA is. He's 0, 2, and 4. Ame's just been farming a crazy amount because of the map control they've gained, but the kills, more or less all of them going on Nothing to Say.
Also, I picked up Fey Grenade. That's actually not too bad. Gives them the extra movement speed, and obviously any additional procs of your passive is going to be very nice to have, especially at range for a melee here that can get kited so easily.
Carl is setting up top, but this play doesn't really exist. He can't solo the Ursa. He's just going to leave.
Yeah, and this lead is just continuing to balloon. So 8K now for LGD. So you can see their win probability at 73% currently. But T1, I mean, they have options. We talked about the high ground defense of Elder Titan. Spectre is obviously god tier late game. Same with Stormstreet. The only question mark, really, in my mind, is Veno, because we just haven't seen a ton of this hero in this patch. Is Faith Beyond? Shadow Step was there, but...
And let's keep in mind, we saw a game of IG versus Spirit with what Spectre Storm can do when they're doing well. If you do equalize this game somehow, there are so many ways of finding kills with these two heroes together. Once the Spectre gets the Aghanims, which he obviously has, but they're just unfortunately too far behind to really take initiative right now.
Yeah, Whitemon spotted out. Easy kill. Glimpse doesn't even break the tether. As LGD getting whatever they want. So still 3 tier 2 towers existing in each respective lane, so they're going to have to get through those. And in terms of their tower push is not good for LGD. That is one saving grace for the team. When you talk about high ground defense, plus the fact that you don't have a real tower hitter, per se.
Yeah, it is going to take a little bit long. They will get a siege creep in here now, though. If they have Glyph, they could keep it alive. They don't.
Cuckoo, Nothing to Say, catches him. You can see Ilo relocating. Ame wants a kill, and he'll not get it. Nothing to Say taking that one, although Ame did find one earlier, Synderen, so finally getting rid of that goose egg.
Goose egg?
Goose egg, yes.
Ah. Huh. I haven't heard it called that much, I think.
I am a boomer.
Yeah. No doubt about that.
Let's have some TPs top. 23 Savage. A lot of mobility for him, and will be a difficult kill. Just popping the Shadow Step constantly. It's only a 30-second cooldown, of course. Why? Glimmer. Oh my god, if he finds
Savage here.
Oh, he glimpsed it for a second. Oh, the horsey. Not enough. Not fast enough. But he does force out Haunt, which is a huge deal.
That's true. That was not the Shadow Step that time.
He used the Shadow Step just to kind of harass and be annoying. But yeah, I'm sure he's regretting that one.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And now with Haunt down, well, I was going to say LGD is going to try to force something, but Aegis is running out now. And, I mean, even with that second Aegis, they haven't gotten a tier 2 yet. But still, not the end of the world, because they're just farming the entire map, and the lead is continuing to grow.
Yep.
Middle tower is under attack.
Need to clean up these pesky Plague Wards that Cuckoo's going to keep placing. Like his itemization, by the way. I think the Halberd Force Staff is very good this game.
Yep.
You want that against Ursa. You need a repositioning tool, and you need the disarm. So...
Oh, see the jumping. Carl pops the BKB just to ensure a kill, but it's only Y for now. Trying to force out the BKB from Nothing to Say, but he's not going to get baited this time. 2 times is enough for him. And now that the Aegis is gone, we'll see if T1 want to try to force something, especially with the advantage in the 5v4 right now. But like you said, Cuckoo, I mean, his farm is pretty decent. I mean, Venos do get relatively farmed. Has the Force Staff in addition to everything else. Thank you. Glimpse.
Just felt like saying it. I heard the sound.
Yep.
What did he actually glimpse?
He glimpsed Magnus. Oh, all right. Orchid onto nothing to say. Do they have the damage to bring him down? Nope. That's the BKB charge again.
Oh,
continuing on. No mana at all for Carl. He's going to be brought down in quick succession. And it looks like Elder Titan is next on the list. LGD showing their prowess right now. And nothing to say, just continuing to destroy everybody in his wake. Cuckoo will be the third death in this engagement. LGD winning this game in spades, Cinder, and not remotely close right now.
T1 just ultimately, they run out of patience. They just really want to try something, so they go on the Ember, but that's not enough in the tank. And again,
23 Savage. Faith Beyond's going to run into him. There's the Yule setup. Has the RP if he needs it. Manta's popped, but here comes Ame with the right clicks. Into the horn toss. Down he goes, not even needing RP. Look at the ultimates on the top. They all have them, other than Io.
Good.
Which
Thank you for correcting yourself.
Technically
I'm
correct.
proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you for specifying that.
Thank you, Cinderin. I just want to make you proud one day.
Yeah. Oh, you're definitely improving right now.
Thank you.
Didn't take much, but it's good.
Just not screwing up is an improvement as they, LGD, finally get a tier 2 tower. And we can see that next Roche, we won't know for another minute when it will spawn. And Faith Beyond still ready to go with the RP. Has nothing to say is 9-0-6. Has the Aghanim Scepter, obviously the BKB, and I believe that's a refresher that he's working on.
He's close
next.
to that one too. His just raw burst against any hero that isn't BKB'd, he can.
Oh, horn toss from Faith Beyond. Waimon is dead.
No, he was Yuled. Now he's dead.
He's dead. Is this a technically correct joke again? Oh, the bash! Oh, he's actually going to get him! Ame just beating the absolute crap out of Carl. Bash proc for the win as Cuckoo getting caught by nothing to say, and this is turning into a rout. You can see the haunt coming through, but it's not really going to happen, Cinderin. Venomancer is going to end up being cleaned up here. Actually, haunt was not used. Where were those illusions from? Was that the Manta? I have no idea.
I think he shadow stepped in, Manta and left.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
either way, this is
we believe we have a DPC term for a game like this.
Shellacking?
Say the thing.
Gaben level shellacking?
Thank you.
Okay.
See, you impressed me.
You know,
you knew what I meant.
There's 3 levels to the Gaben level shellacking. Did you know that?
Oh, there's more levels.
There's
than that.
just regular Gaben shellacking. Then there's Gaben's mustache shellacking. And then the top of the top is Gaben top hat shellacking.
Top hat?
Yes. I think the OG EG, the OG Secret
qualifies.
Game was definitely a Gaben top hat shellacking.
Top hat.
Yeah.
I want that as an emote so bad now. All of a sudden, Gabe wearing a top hat.
I'm patenting that one, by the way.
Can we please have that? Thank you.
I'm patenting or copywriting Gaben's name for my for myself.
I think you'll get away with it.
He seems like an easygoing guy. Yeah. Satanic now online for Ame. Already seeing the basher come to where that was literally a kill because of a bash.
Yep.
Into the Roche pit they go. That's going to be a refresher shard Roche, which that will almost certainly go to Faith Beyond. Although you could have the double refresher for nothing to say.
Double, not hungry. All right,
and down he goes. He actually pops the BKB. Huh. I guess he didn't want the haunt in to steal all the goodies. Makes sense.
RP.
Oh, I hear the RP. This is for 23 Savage. Into the right clicks we go. Into the grave, 23 Savage goes.
All right, I have a bit of a trivia here, Shannon.
Okay.
Let's see how much closely you've been paying attention. When was the last thing something good happened for T1 in this game? Is it A, 10 minutes ago, B, 15 minutes ago, C, 20 minutes ago, or D, 25 minutes ago?
I'm gonna say 10.
Okay, I am checking. The last dot on the... It's about 10 minutes ago.
Thank God.
They killed Lion.
Thank
Good
God.
call.
Thank
Good
you.
call.
Yeah, this is a
They
rough
are
one for
getting
T1.
absolutely annihilated.
But keep in mind, this is not the tournament line on, not the tournament life on the line.
True.
If T1 were to lose this, they will face up against Alliance, and LGD will continue on to play. I believe it's the winner of Vici versus VP, which, regardless of that outcome, if that ends up being the case, will be a really hype one. BKB now online for Faith Beyond. And onto the high ground, potentially we go here soon for LGD. Swiftblink next on the list for Ame's Ursa. So you can see, still not a whole lot of building damage, but they can kill heroes like none other, Synderen.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a solution right now for T1 for how to approach a fight. So since they can't deal damage to the BKBs, you need a way to poke these 3 BKBs the enemy cores have, reset, and then re-go. I think it's gonna have to come down to some sort of crazy static storm that they get set up through maybe an Ag Storm Vortex.
Oh, the jump in.
They'll get that one.
They'll find one. It's been 10 minutes since he died, apparently.
Yep.
So it was
we reset
time.
the counter.
Something good happened for T1. They
When
did
did T1killlast.com? The clock is now 0.
Oh, Carl, relocate is coming, but he's going to zip away. Zephyr probably not going to be so lucky. He gets whipped into oblivion, and the bash ensures the kill for Ame.
Going to be relocated back here to the mid lane. Clean up some illusions.
You know what they could use is a leveler.
True.
That drop. That might be the best item to get for PSG.LGD right now.
Up to the high ground.
Indeed. Spectral Dagger with the Gale. Ursa doesn't care.
Skewer.
The Skewer in from Faith Beyond, and that's going to be a freebie for the kill on Cuckoo. Does have buyback. I don't even know. Have we seen Poison Nova this game? Have you
I don't
noticed?
think it's been cast.
That's... Wow. Unreal.
I'm glad we theory crafted whether it's better than before.
Right now it's the same, I guess.
Yeah.
Ame, it looks like they'll get this Rax, and T1, without the Elder Titan, this will be difficult to defend, even with...
Oh, the tether!
All right. Tether stun comes through with the bash. Carl takes the tumble. So that's the shard online for the IO. That is truly unfortunate. Earth Splitter comes inside the static storm, but the bash inside as well. As enraged with the BKB. Ame super healthy. Just gonna focus on the buildings now. That is very unfortunate for T1. Great pickup by Jinkyu. There's the Searing Chains. All right, into the Skewer. This is going to be a dieback for Cuckoo. And LGD absolutely crushing their way to a Game 3 victory here. 5 versus 3. As we see the Shadow Step come out as well, but Zephyr is dead. Still has buyback. And now more buildings to go for LGD. 45 seconds with the Aegis. And again, their building damage is quite bad, but there, again, the Skewer with the Horn Toss setup. Do they have enough to actually take out 23 Savage? Indeed. He does have buyback as well, though.
Faith Beyond will be fully healed by the cheese as well, so... It almost looks like PSG.LGD haven't even been fighting yet. They have full resources on every hero except Lion, missing a little bit of mana, pretty much.
And that is 2 full sets of racks down. Aegis.
Are we approaching the top half?
This is maybe mustache level.
Mustache level.
Yeah, this is mustache level. I mean, they do have 9 kills, so...
Notice the voice chat line being used by Cuckoo there. Nothing touches the heart like my Venom. Arguably, your Venom doesn't touch anything, rather.
Yeah, I would like to see the Poison Nova used at least.
1 Poison Nova before it's over, please.
Yes,
Let's go.
The jump in. Io's taking a lot of damage, but they're turning it on to Carl instead. He pops BKB, zips away to safety. Nothing to say, trying to pursue. Meanwhile, Ursa just eating everybody alive. GG is called. Poison Nova not cast, Synderen. LGD take Game 3 in very, very convincing fashion. And this is the team that we've been seeing throughout the entire group stage and now in the main event.
Yeah, when LGD are on, they're on, man. That was just not even close. Like, T1, they had to try to find some earlier fights to get value out of their Venom, but it was just PSG.LGD making all of the good early moves, finding the picks. Especially nothing to say on the Ember, just set the entire